Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the class. Excited to see everyone here. And we are going to be going through how to have more time and more energy. Who can't use more time and more energy? Of course, we could all use a few more hours in the day. So this is one of my favorite classes. It's a class that I speak on frequently, and it's always a big hit because we've got some tangible solutions to really buy you more life, buy you more time, buy you more calmness, peace, happiness, and bliss. So it's really an interesting topic, but for years, I've worked a huge, big schedule, and I've really learned how to manage it. I've learned how to have plenty of time, plenty of energy. So we're going to actually be turning time into health is what we're doing today. So thrilled that you're here, thrilled that you're on the class, and absolutely want you to chime in on the Facebook group. So our Facebook group is our hub where 24/7 you can ask questions, you can share your celebrations, and you've got a community of people who can probably answer those questions for you, and they know how I'll answer them. Some of them have been with us for quite a while. And the coaches are in there as well. So today, absolutely, if you've got questions and comments, please be sure to post them in the Facebook group. All right, so we're going to be going along here. You're going to want to take a few notes. So grab a piece of paper and a pen if you haven't already. And next slide, please. Thank you. All right, so if you're on the class today, we're going to be putting those questions in the Facebook group. And we've got some celebrations today. So I'm really excited to share with you, one of our coaches, Carly Grenner, wrote a book. Her book, Level Up, is out, so I couldn't be more proud. I've had lots of shout outs in books over the years, but I gotta say this one is really dear to me because Carly is not only a phenomenal coach, she's out there, she's doing it, she's been successful herself, she's an athlete, and this book, I did not know that it was her life stream to become a health and fitness professional. So Carly, kudos to you. You can find the book on Amazon and at simplyhealthycarly.com. So check out our book. We'll be sure to share that in the Facebook group. And we've got some other celebrations today. Really happy to celebrate with Cledra, down 11 pounds in our Simple Fat Burn Challenge, the 30-day challenge. So I know some of our challengers have been really working at this. Some of them have been frustrated and then got things to move. So it's really been a neat process. Our next challenge, some of them are planning on doing it again. Very exciting. And I know today Beth was down 17 pounds, and we've still got 7 days to go left in the challenge. David down 25 pounds. Laura ran her first 5K. Congratulations, Laura. And she's lost the bulk of her weight. She's only got a little bit left to go. So very exciting. And Vicky, oh my goodness, 2 days. In 2 days, she did 2.9 pounds after being stuck and following the formula. And congratulations to Bernadette. Bernadette, who was not checking in on the scale, down 8.5 pounds. And it's not about the pounds, it's really about getting healthy. But for those of you that are ready to track and are ready to really, really make a difference, it does work, and you can always work at your own pace. So big thanks to everyone on the team. Absolutely. Thank you to James Wright, our creative director. Could not make this happen without his input and his technology support. Thank you to Kathy Valerio, Bethany, and always thank you to Kristen, our graphic designer, and all of the clients. You guys are what makes me tick. You're what makes this happen. And one of my favorite trainers, Robert Autry, said, great coaches and trainers are made by great clients. So this is a mentoring program. Of course, you're getting coaching, education, resources, but this is all about health and being successful. And we couldn't make it happen without all of you here. So what's coming up? The Health is Wealth Show, October 25th. We're going to have on Stan with college sports traditions. Interesting little twist and new topic. Our What Women Want conference, of course, is coming November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, coming quick in just a couple of weeks. And you can use my personal discount code FRIEND for 50% off any ticket. And our 30-day challenge that will open up again for the next round on November 8th. So if you're thinking about the challenge or has a friend who wants to get in and loves the challenge, the results have just been outstanding. And that's been new for us to do this online. Done many, many challenges over the years, but I got to say, I have been blown away by these results. And this is truly something you can learn and pass it on to others. So why this topic today? How to have more time and more energy. I'll tell you, for years, I was that person who worked and worked around the clock, never felt like I had enough time in the day. And often we end up on overwhelm, overload. I used to be that person. I got really, really burned out at times when I was raising my son as a single mom, working the long hours, trying to do it all myself. And we're going to go through the concepts today on how I actually turn that around. And yes, I probably handle 2 to 3 times the volume of the average person at times. But the thing is, it suits me because I have nothing but time. It's paradoxical. So excited to share some concepts on that today, because not only have I mastered it, I've taught many, many people to master it. And the cool thing is that when we have more time, we have more energy, and the things that we're going to do to have more energy are going to create more time. Go figure. Who would have thought these things work together? So absolutely. So how much time do we actually have? It is our most precious resource. You know, whenever I talk about this topic, I say, gosh, you all spent your most precious resource here with me and with us, and we're taking our time today to invest in ourselves. But we spend 480 minutes sleeping on average. So that's a chunk of time that we're not actually up and going and doing. Important to note. Hopefully you're getting enough rest. And then how many hours do we have? Let's see if I can go back a slide here. Thank you. You really have 960 minutes in a day on average to work with us. Some of us sleep a little bit less than others, so maybe it's a little over 1,000. But what are we going to do with that time? What's the mindset that you've got to have to be successful? What are the actual actions that you've got to take to create space and time so that you're calm, you're relaxed, and hopefully you're living where I prefer to stay, living in grace, and life is just good. It's just good. You're enjoying it. You're not like the hamster in the wheel. You know, most of us have felt that way. So I want to take a little time here, and we're going to anchor that one thing for you that needs attention in this program and in your life. So if you've got a piece of pen and paper handy, grab one if you don't, because you really are going to need to write this down, because we're going to gear this entire class towards the one thing that is going to help you the most right now. Now, I know for me, it's usually cardio. I'll get my strength training done. I'll eat fairly clean. You know, even if I slipped a little bit, that's sort of a non-issue for me these days. But the cardio, and I feel better and best when I actually make some time to prioritize getting some cardio done on a regular basis. So that's my weak point. That's my point that is the one thing that could use time and attention. It's not always cardio. Sometimes it's something else. So what are the key components to having more time? I want you to take each one of these concepts we're going to go into today and, you know, put it together with that one thing for you, because we really want to make a difference today. We really want to get into the concepts that we can put into place immediately and change your life for the better. Where are we going to find time? I'll tell you, it's hiding. It's not, we don't manufacture it in the basement, but organizational skills are critical to creating more time in that 24-hour day, or that 960 minutes we've got left after we're hopefully very well rested. But we've got to batch our activities. And this is a key concept that successful people use, and they learn to use it, and they get better at using it over time. We're batching activities. If I were answering emails in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, at 2 a.m., that's the opposite of batching. I'm taking more time to do one activity. Maybe it would be better for me to answer them at 10:30 and 3 p.m. I don't know what works for you, but batching is key. Batching is key with activities. If you folded 3 pieces of laundry, that would be me. You know, I really have never enjoyed folding laundry. I'm off to another task. I'm off task again. So come back and fold 3 more, and it just drags it out. So, you know, planning is critical, because when you plan your days, when you plan your months, when you plan your weeks, when you plan some downtime, some vacation time, planning is your best friend. I know my coach, Monica Shaw, would always say, planning is the very highest form of self-care. And I'm really going to give her that, because if we think about planning being the highest form of self-care, therein lies some success. I can tell you, a few years ago when I was transitioning, beginning to transition out of personal training, and I was building, the programs, I was working double duty. And I looked at her one day and I said, "It'll get better." And she said, "No, it won't. You will get better. You will plan your free time. You will plan your activities." So this is really critical, that we take some time to think about and get in that calendar and get in those days and those planners, and really square out time to delegate and prioritize. So let's just talk a little bit about delegation. If you know me personally, you know I'm a master delegator. I literally do not do things that don't serve my life and my business. I hand them off to other people. And we don't always have the luxury of having other people in our circle, but usually there is a way that you can delegate something in your life, whether it's family members or trading off with a friend on some activities. I've had clients before that they would cook together, almost like a co-op. I had a mother and daughter, or two friends, that would do the cooking on Wednesdays and Sundays, and they would cook up big batches of food, and it was fun. It would be finished. So, but we've got to prioritize to do the most important things first. So whatever those things are, and we know what some of them are. They're getting exercise in, right? They are tracking. They are, if you're not tracking, it's okay. Don't feel guilty. But they are doing the things that will make the most difference. And typically those things are going to the grocery store and cooking. They got to go in the calendar. If they don't have a home, they just get skipped over again, and once again, there's no food. So another concept I want to share with you, we've talked a lot about opting into these programs and really saying, "Hey, I'm willing to do the work." But the opt-out is just as important as the opt-in. And what that opt-out is, the power of saying no. The power to say, "No, thank you. That's just too much on my calendar." If you're really getting to that point where you realize you're stacking books, you're stacking bricks, you just need to take one off and set it over here, what happens is your stress levels start to go down. Sometimes we just take on too much. We really do. So we've got to know when to opt out, when to call it, when to say, "Hey, I thought it over. I really can't do this. Hey, this is just going to be more than I'm capable of putting on my plate right now." I had a friend, Chris, who very eloquently said, "That's beyond the scope of what I could do today." She was so sweet about it. So I think the way in which you handle things is critical. And this other concept, this concept of speed, number 6 here. Now, just write down for you the things that speak to you. Maybe you are pretty quick with everything and speed is not your thing. Maybe you are a great delegator. For most of you, when I ask this question, you're always talking about planning your food, planning your cooking. Like, that's the weak link. I know, because I ask these questions on a daily basis. So whatever are the things for you, write them down, and we're going to dial in and get a little bit of movement. You're not going to be perfect. Rome is not built in a day, but we're going to start where we are with what we have. So you're going to save a lot of time actually by cooking your own food. It's paradoxical. I know we think, "Oh my gosh, I got to cook my own food. It's going to take time." But when you don't know what you're going to have to eat for the day, and you're hunting and pecking for food, and you're out and about, and you've now got to pull into a restaurant to feed yourself and get nutrition in the body, that is not going to work long-term in this plan. Number one, the food is low quality. Number two, you're spending way more time and way more energy. So we kind of have to face it head on and understand that you're going to save time, you're going to save money, and you're going to get real nutrition in you by preparing your own food. So all of the fitness people, I've said this before, all of the fitness people have little plastic containers in their dishwasher. Why? Because we cook in batches. Why? Because we take our food with us. I mean, it's an amazing concept. And once you get in the habit of this, it was years and years ago where I gave up just going out to eat lunch because I needed to be fed. Now, if I want to meet with someone and actually enjoy that conversation, hopefully we can get something really healthy and it's serving my life and my soul and my body. But I will tell you, tomorrow I have an event and I'm already thinking, "Oh gosh, I got a few little almonds and some edamame and a protein shake that are going to go in the bag. We're going to have the option to go get lunch." But I'm thinking, "Gosh, what am I going to eat?" need a little something before and after. So it's a really big deal. Cut vegetables travel well. I know we're always looking for crunch, and we can get chowing down on the nuts, and it's way too many calories, but fresh cut vegetables. I eat them almost every day, and it just becomes a staple in a way of life. So don't microwave your plastic containers. This is really important. The toxins from the plastic will be in your food and in your body, and that's not what we want. So this is really about that problem solution. The problem is you're hungry and there's no food made. What do? You're in low blood sugar. You don't know what to eat. The problem is we grab something high glycemic because it's in the house and it belongs to someone else. Or we go out and we say, oh, just this time I'll grab the fast food, the burger and the fries. So the solution is it is just as easy. It's actually easier to prep that food, take it with you, and start to get away from those behaviors that have been killing your progress. Now, this is a really big concept that I really embraced when I was a teenager. I started to tell myself with college classes, it was easier to get the difficult thing done than it was to sweep it under the rug and suffer with not doing what needed to be done. So it's actually easier to take the high road, although it's more painful in the beginning. So I want you to really think about that concept. It is painful to get familiar with buying food, prepping it, putting it in boxes, taking it off to eat. But after a while, you go, gosh, this just makes sense. Why would I do it any other way? And if you've got spouses, if you've got teenagers, if you've got friends that you can do this together with, it may be a community effort, but it has to happen. It has to happen as much as possible. So you want to prep your food, if this is, again, something that is difficult for you to do, batch it or combine it, link it with an activity that you love. I know James was saying you're always watching your shows, right? He's always watching a show on his phone while he is prepping the food, or he's listening to his favorite podcast. But pair a preferred activity, something that you really love to do, with a necessary task. So for me, I would get on the bike and I would do that cardio while I'm listening to something fabulous or while I'm reading something incredible that really holds my attention. So you can always combine those less desirable things that need to get done with something that's totally enjoyable. You just link them together. Again, a huge, huge, huge success concept that once you start to put it in place, you start to look forward to that activity. I had a client once, and she drove from downtown through Atlanta traffic. Must have been close to an hour each day. And when I said to her, I said, gosh, you really got to deal with the traffic. And she said, it's the most wonderful time for me. I listen to these books. I listen to these amazing books on tape. And she just lit up. Now, she's the only person I ever heard say that her traffic time, that was me time. She worked a very high volume position, and it just was wonderful for her. She made it into something positive that really worked for her. So all of your meals can actually be prepped in less than 15 minutes. These are just some examples, and you might want to take a screenshot of this. And the truth is, if you are prepping that food instead of eating out, oh my gosh, you're saving so much money even on the organic stuff. So especially on the organic stuff. So you can really do it affordably. You can feed yourself, you can feed your family, and the breakdown is not bad. We really have the money go out the window with eating out. And a lot of those processed foods in the box and the bag, they're made to look like cheap stuff because they are cheap stuff, but they're actually very expensive when it comes to what you're spending. So we've done the math, and we will say, hands down, you're always going to win by prepping your own food. What's the number one thing that we use? It's a toaster oven. I mean, such a simple contraption. Ours is actually a convection oven and a toaster oven. So you can cook a lot of food in one of these. And in the morning, you just want to pop in your vegetables. You just want to pop in your fish. You just want to pop in whatever proteins you're cooking up. And it's quick, it's simple, you're easy, and you can cook several meals at one time. And you want a simple toaster oven. If you don't own one, don't get something too fancy that you really don't know how to operate. This one just has 3 dials. And the food can be prepped in literally just a few minutes. Very, very easy to wrap that into a morning routine or an evening routine, or both, depending on the schedule for the day. So I always look at that calendar and say, what fits today based on the things that need to get done? Again, if you've got questions, let's put those in the Facebook group. If you've got comments, things that you've learned within this class, let's definitely add those to the group. When you share, you're actually helping everyone. So how can we create more energy? This is something that I dialed in on many, many years ago as I was helping my clients create more energy, to feel better, to feel rested. So this is a really big deal that we look. Of course, our simple fat burn meals are going to increase your energy levels, particularly those leafy greens, particularly those non-starchy organic vegetables. That is the source of unlimited energy. So the more fresh vegetables you can eat, if you cook them lightly. Please, nothing canned, nothing cooked to death, and nothing microwaved. Do not microwave your vegetables. So what happens when we're overtired? You know, what's really going on? Sometimes we want to just check in and say, is this mental exhaustion? Are you overwhelmed? Are there things that are going on in life that are sort of, sort of festering under the surface that are making us exhausted? Maybe there are some things that need to be addressed, with friends or family or in the home or in the workplace. There are always things that seem to come up, but when we don't address those, sometimes we're very, very tired. I know one of my friends, she kept saying, I'm so tired all the time. And one day she said to me, I just got to stop saying I'm so tired. I'm making myself tired with the I am statements. And she was rested and she was functioning well. So, I want you to really think about, when you're tired, where is that coming from? Are you really just not getting down and resting? Are you burning the candle at both ends? Or is this mental exhaustion? And then we can deal with it appropriately. And here comes my social work background. So where else can we find energy? Water. I will tell you, oftentimes we are dehydrated. If you're not drinking enough water, that water table is low, you're actually getting thirsty. That's like the alarms and the whistles and the bells are going off with the biochemistry. So water is critical to having energy. Water is critical for the fat burning process. Water is critical for survival. So those low glycemic foods paired with our clean, lean, healthy proteins, fiber comes from green vegetables. The vitamins, the minerals, the nutrients, the light is actually in the vegetables. So if you want to really have energy and feel good on a daily basis, we're going to edge up those vegetables. So, and of course, we're back to planning our days, planning our energy expenditure. I know I used to get up really, really early in the morning and work out and train clients. And so I would take a little downtime. I'd ramp that energy down and lay down for a few minutes in the afternoon, and then I'd ramp the energy back up. Now, for most of us, it's more of a steady energy throughout the day, and then we're going to ramp down. So I want you to think about, where do you have to put out more energy? And take the meta view, take the overview, and plan accordingly. You don't need to keep going and doing more. You need to really learn to manage the energy that you have to work with. Critical for success. So, self-care. Now, I say this all the time. Self-care is not always sexy and fun and like, ooh la la, I can't wait to go get the massage. Self-care might mean seeing the chiropractor. Self-care might be taking time with friends and family. Self-care might be just slowing the mind down and reading a book. So self-care is going to mean a lot of different things to each of us, but think about what self-care you need to put in place right now, because therein lies the secret door to energy. And as you become more successful over time, the self-care is not negotiable. You have to do it. You have to plug it in. You have to plan it. You have to schedule it, whatever that means for you. It might be seeing the chiropractor. It might be getting a massage. It might be doing some holistic services that really make you feel so much better. And we know exercise is completely part of self-care. So we want to schedule that exercise. We want it to be appropriate, not too much. Sometimes we're overtraining. I would have never thought I'd be that person to overtrain. And let me tell you what, years ago, water on the back of my knees. I was running. I was teaching classes. I don't know what I was doing. I was doing personal training as client. It was too much. And you got to check in and say, how much exercise is that little space where I'm getting enough, but it's not overkill. You know, you should feel it. You should feel the effects in your body, but you don't need to be exhausted. I know the other day I went and took a fly class with Mary Ellen, which was great. And then the girl, she went out and she's going to do a bar class on top of it after teaching. I was like, that's kind of a lot. 2 hours back to back. I don't know. Again, that seems like overuse from my perspective. At least it would be for me. Maybe it's not for her. I'm not here to judge. So here's the big one. Spiritual self-care, whatever that means for you, your prayer time, your meditation, your scripting, your time that you're having those social gatherings around spiritual practices. Really, really critical that you get this in on a regular basis because this will give you energy. Absolutely. So the formula for balancing blood sugar, what all of this boils down to in terms of time and energy, and they run together. The better you feel when you're not spiking your insulin, like the line on the bottom, the more energy you're going to have. The more energy you're going to have, the more time you're going to feel like you have. So this is a really big deal. But if you're falling asleep in the afternoon, if you're hitting those blood sugar lows, you still have too much starch and sugar in your diet. I promise it's stinking in there. I mean, it's just, I've done this for so many years. Every time I open that Pandora's box, we all eat some of it. It's just hit that tipping point where it's taking a toll. So the key concepts, the concepts of balancing your blood sugar, appropriate exercise, having a positive mental attitude, and really leveling out your emotions, making wise choices and decisions. Maybe saying, hey, I'm opting out if everyone's ordering the pizza at night. That process alone could be a game changer. So I want you to really think about the concepts that you need to amp it up with in your life that we're discussing here. And every single person says to me that they want to be consistent. Oop. Let me go back here. They want to be consistent. So what is being consistent? It is acting, when something is acting or done in the same way over time, especially so as to be fair and accurate. So the way that we describe being consistent, usually people say to me, I just need to be consistent. Then we've got to get specific and say, well, what does consistent mean to you? Does it mean exercising at least every other day? Does it mean exercising daily? It's going to mean something different to each of us. Does it mean, skipping the alcohol, skipping the ice cream, skipping out on the cookies and pizza or chips or whatever you're getting into consistently, and maybe we need to skip it consistently? So, or maybe we're just inconsistent. We're too inconsistent with what we're putting in our body. So everyone wants to be consistent. And how do we do that? We build our habits over time. We get better. We get better at what we do and how we do it. I stopped eating white rice on sushi and saying, oh, it's okay just this time. And consistently, my blood sugar was more stable. I always love to go out for some sushi, but now if I was going to have a piece of rice, it'd be one little piece, not the roll. My blood sugar cannot handle that. You've seen my demo with that 1 teaspoon of glucose. The bloodstream can only handle 1 teaspoon at a time. So it's a really big deal that we pay attention to those blood sugar levels. So hopefully you've got some good things here that you're taking notes. I know when I've done this class, the things that people were working on, they were talking about planning. They were talking about planning to go to the grocery store, planning to cook the meals. They were talking about drinking their water consistently. And some people have really been working on getting off diet sodas. No judgment. If that's where you are, keep going with that. We want to get off those artificial sweeteners. And some people were just talking about getting organized. A lot of people talked about decluttering. Maybe you need to get rid of the clutter because clutter will hold you back. It will be a detriment in your life. Get some help with that. Get someone to chime in and help with you, either an organizer or a friend or family member. When you got 2 people, you can stay on task instead of doing the opposite of batching. A little bit of clutter goes and you're off into no man's land. At least that's usually me. So questions in the Q&A for us, comments, some things that spoke to you in the class, please chime in the Facebook group. And what do we have coming up next? Okay, one of our most important classes, Get the Skinny on Carbs. This is a class that I probably repurpose because it is critical to understand carbohydrates, glycemic index, to a T. This is where knowledge really becomes power. So Sunday, October 22nd, please put it on your calendar. Oh, I'm sorry, October 27th. Thank you. That's a typo. So upcoming classes, there's the correct date. Watch out. Sunday, October 22nd, get the skinny on carbs. I know someone was asking about explaining carbs years ago, and someone said to me, you explain it better than anyone on the planet. I've studied it inside out, upside down. We got to understand carbohydrates. They're not all created the same. And here's the other thing. We don't burn calories on a treadmill. We eat calories. And the carbs that go with them are either high glycemic or low glycemic. So tune in for that class. Be prepared to learn some really good things that will really help you move in the right direction. And of course, we're going into the holiday season. So I'm going to be loading you up with support and party strategy that I've taught for over 20 years. So we're going to go into the holidays and really enjoy them. Holiday survival, maintain, don't gain. And many of us are going to continue to make some awesome progress. And remember this concept, it's and, not or. You're going to enjoy the holidays and get your progress. Okay, so don't think this permission restriction thing, it doesn't mean you can't have a cookie or a drink with your friends on a holiday. You can, but we can absolutely continue to be healthy, fit, and lean and make more progress. And then as we get into 2020, we're going to be planting those seeds for success, because I'll tell you what, I'm excited about 2020. We're not even here. 20 is a lucky number for me. So I am just expecting a boatload of good to come in for all of us for 2020. And upcoming events, once again, please join us for the What Women Want Conference, or tell a friend about it. We've got that friend, all caps, code for 50% off tickets. Reach out to me if you're interested. And the next 30-day challenge, November 8th. This last challenge has just, the challengers have blown it out of the water with their participation and progress. So again, your Facebook group, we've got the Simple Fat Burn for Life Facebook group, and always there for support. And please share your wins, share what inspires you, because gosh, all of the folks that I have seen make incredible progress. I got to say, this has been a record-breaking month for progress, for success, for the little wins, the little changes everyone shares with me and says, gosh, you know what? I think it was, what did Rubina say today? She said, oh, I skipped the gummies and I lost a half a pound. I love winning. I love losing weight more than I loved eating that candy. And, she's headed out to do a TED Talk soon. So, but, you got to start to believe. You've got to start to believe in yourself. You got to start to pattern your behavior after the people that have been successful, and know every single person has struggled. They've fallen down. It's been really rough when they got started. They've been frustrated. Frustration is part of the process. But we are going to celebrate your wins with you with so many happy high five wins. So I want you to really start to believe in yourself. And we have social proof that this can be done for yourself and for the others in this community. So I'm so thankful that you're here. And just remember, you've got this. You can do this, and you're already successful. So thank you all for being here. Love you guys, and we'll see you in the next class. Thank you.